separate comprehensive law is
conclude.
required.
You have taken more
Thank
time,
you,
sir.
sir.
Please, thank you. Honorable Dr. Amee Yajnik ji.
Thank you, sir, for giving me this opportunity. Sir, the bill is quite exhaustive, but the important points which I would like to make are not on the procedures once the offense comes to the notice and the authorized personnel go to the high seas, find the pirates, bring them to the designated court and try them. That all becomes procedure within the domestic arena. This is a law which we have brought right now, is a resultant of the signing of the treaty, the law of the Convention on the Law of the Sea. Sir, if I would just point out one statistic, just for example, in order to make my point, it's that in 2010, sir, 26% of piracy victims were taken hostage, representing 1,181 out of a total of 4,185 victims, and 50% of hostages faced increased levels of violence. So economic costs for piracy acts are estimated huge, beyond millions, and then the insurance costs of the vessels and what the private owners have to pay. Sir, this is one aspect of this act. Maritime piracy is a major concern today because 85% of our trade is in all these waters. We forget when we talk about piracy, we are talking only of the high seas. First there are 4 more zones which we are having sovereign right on that. So we can take any action on that. But on the high seas, when you are trying to find pirates and piracy taking place, it is a unique way of conducting these kind of offenses, and to catch these people who have sometimes no national citizenship and to bring them. Sir, this will require a very highly equipped personnel. So I would request the Honorable Minister, sir, to look at these nuances, because the act is very, very different from the other acts. All the provisions are once you catch the offense and the pirate people who you carve them as offenders, once they come on the soil of India, then all these starts. But how do you use the extradition facility and all that, the last clause which is mentioned here, that also comes once the pirates or the piracy offense is being detected and your personnel has gone and found these pirates and brought them to the shore. So, sir, these are the other things which I would think international cooperation and continuous efforts on part of every nation and to harmonize the legal systems of different countries, I think would go a long way to bring this particular act into action or into fructifying these provisions of this act. Yes, it is a little belated, but not that belated. We signed it in 1982. We ratified, as India ratified this United Nations Convention. We brought this in 2012, and then it went to the Standing Committee. But it looks like that it's like another act which we have in our country. But the piracy happens on the high seas, which is much beyond the territorial waters. So I think it will become a very unique kind of an offense, sir. So you will have to look into it, what kind of an offense you will describe it as. Because we are not looking at the piracy that happened in ancient times or even a century back. The pirates today operate from sitting on the shores, sir. That is the data which I have seen. And these operations that take place, sometimes they have a mothership and they take small ships to these private people. And these private people's ships are raided. And that is how the ransom money is sought for and the goods are taken. Now the trader cannot afford to let his his goods being taken away by the pirates. Insurance is involved. There are other agencies involved. Regulatory mechanism is involved. So I think more institutions will have to come into place internationally in order to see that this particular act comes into action and becomes successful. Sir, I congratulate the Honorable Minister that it is a very, very detailed drafting of the bill, and all the clauses here have taken care of everything. Except that I would really look at K, which says that a stateless person means a person who is not considered as a national by any country by virtue of its laws. Now, so when these definitions come to the designated courts, I think we'll also have to see that these judicial courts are manned by experts who understand what is a maritime law, what is piracy as an offense, and what is involved by a country when you are talking about trade and trade facilities and trade goods, which involve huge sums of money. So this, sir, will also bring the definition of sovereignty again into this. So international law is embedded in a way in this particular act, sir. So I would like the Honorable Minister to look at these issues when there is a further drafting of some rules on this particular issues when the personnel are being inducted. Who are these personals who will be going to these ships or crossing these waters which are beyond the economic zones where I think they would not venture to come. These happens only with private ships which are on the high seas. So I would request the Honorable Minister to look into these minor details, but they are very, very practical because these will be the issues that will come internationally, and that particular person will take all these defenses in the court that I am not a national of any country. So what happens to the person who is a stateless person, which is mentioned here? And what would be the facilities available to such a person, because he will also claim human rights, because that is also an international human rights issue as far as international territorial waters are concerned, high seas are concerned. So, sir, I would like the Honorable Minister to look at all these points once the rules are drafted. Thank you very much, sir.
धन्यवाद अमी याग्निक जी. माननीय श्री महेश जेठ